As mentioned, the ViVO V40 features a dual camera setup on the rear, with Zeiss branded optics. Both cameras have 50 megapixel sensors and optical image stabilization, OIS, on the main camera. In fact, all three cameras have a 50 megapixel sensor, as well as autofocus, so it doesn't matter which camera you use, you get photos that are in focus. There's also a ring LED light on the back that can be adjusted for color between warm and colder color temperature. The camera app is easy to use with a few extra features to be found, including Zeiss portrait options. In the portrait mode, you can select which Zeiss lens bokeh effects that you want, adding an extra element to your portraits, even making them look like they've been taken with Zeiss film or digital lens from larger full-frame cameras. The effect is, of course, produced using software processing, but the effect looks quite convincing at first glance. More on this later. There are the usual night, portrait, photo, video modes, as well as micro-movie, plus more including high-resolution, panoramic, documents, slow-mo, time-lapse, supermoon, astro, pro, snapshot, food, dual view, and live photo. The phone is stylish looking and thin, with curved edges on both the front and back. It's a different style compared to the square, thick phones from Google and others. You also get the choice of a variety of colors, including purple, peach, blue, green, and gray silver, depending on local availability. It's also IP68, 69, dust and water resistant, and has a glass front and back. The screen is protected by shot protection, but it also comes with a pre-installed protective film, giving some additional protection. Speaking of protection, a TPU case is provided in the box in a matching color. The screen is impressively bright, offering a peak brightness of 4500 nits. Regarding large numbers, there's also a generous 5500 mAh battery and 80 watts charging supported. Unfortunately, the phone doesn't include wireless charging, nor a charger in the box. Running the phone, which is basically a tiny computer, is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 processor that keeps things nice and responsive. The amount of RAM and storage provided is generous with 12 GB RAM and 512 GB storage. It's running Android 14, and you can get all the usual apps from the Google Play Store. Overall, the cameras provide images with pleasing color, good dynamic range, and reliable exposure. You can simply point and shoot with this camera and get great results without having to worry about it. The main camera has a larger sensor with 1.0 megapixels, whereas the ultra-wide and selfie cameras have smaller sensors, 0.64 megapixels, which means it's going to give the best results in most situations. The main camera performs well, but there are signs of noise in the corners of the frame when you view images at full size. If you don't, then you don't really need to worry about it. Low light performance is relatively good, but in extremely dark conditions, the phone struggled in comparison to phones with larger sensors. The main camera is the best choice, and the ultra-wide gives worse results in low light, struggling to keep the shutter speed quick enough at times. The ultra-wide angle camera gives good results in good conditions, for example, on sunny days with bright scenes, but in darker conditions, or indoors, results can suffer. There's no telephoto camera, but the 2x zoom digital lens option is shown on screen in the camera app, and when selected shows 47mm equivalent. The results are good enough, and it's only when you start pixel peeping that you notice any issues. If you're just using images online or on social media, then results are good, and you should be able to get reasonable prints if needed. Does anyone print photos anymore? From the main camera is very good and gives nice background blur. You can also use the ultra-wide angle camera for super macro photography, thanks to the autofocus. However, you need to manually select this option on screen, as the camera won't automatically switch to this mode from the 1x camera. Many other phones will automatically activate the macro mode when available. There are a variety of portrait options available when using the main camera, and it's nice to see that these are also available with the selfie camera. This includes different focal length options, Zeiss bokeh options, and face editing options. The focal length options included with the selfie camera are 0.8x, 1x, and 2x, whilst the options with the rear camera are 24mm, 35mm, and 50mm, roughly the same. There's also more bokeh options available with the rear camera. The results look really good, and the autofocus helps make sure you're correctly focused. 4K 30p video, along with optical image stabilization (OIS) on the main camera means results look good. You can also record 4K 30p video with the selfie camera. And thanks to autofocus, the results are better than phones without autofocus, as the main subject stays in focus. If you can find this phone for a good price in your area, then it represents excellent value for money. Priced at around £360, 256 gigabytes per 512 gigabytes. It's just a shame it's not more readily available in the UK and other areas. The ViVO V40 Pro is also another good option. There are models from other brands, but few offer 50 megapixels on all the cameras. Other budget options include the Google Pixel 7a and Pixel 8a, as well as the Samsung Galaxy A55 and A35, and the Motorola Edge 50 Neo with telephoto camera. If the ViVO V40 is available in your area, then it makes a great choice. The only complication is whether to choose the V40 or the V40 Pro with 2x telephoto camera. Results are impressive, and the phone gives you a premium feeling product with a significantly lower price. The Zeiss portrait effects are pleasing and a great reason, along with the selfie camera with AF, to choose the ViVO phone over other brands.